Well, how exciting is this? How amazing. So good to see so many amazing people here today for what promises to be a really, really fantastic day together. Now, you may think that we have just put on a whole event because I like a pun. And that's partially right, but actually there is a bit of method and a rationale to why we are coming together for an event called Fortyfied. So the first thing is, you've probably guessed, it's our 40th anniversary as a foundation. That's the 40 bit. But actually also, really, we could have just had a party, but we are at a moment in time, aren't we, with what we're facing in terms of society and the world. And it felt a bit self-indulgent just to have a celebration. So what we wanted to do was bring people together to think through how can we use the challenging moment in time to come through stronger as a sector and as organisations, to be more resilient. So we want you leaving today feeling fortified, personally and collectively. And the collective bit is really important because we feel stronger, don't we, when we share challenges together, when we inspire each other, and when we lift each other up. And that's what today is about. And this room represents a room of changemakers. And we're joined today by people from all corners of England and Wales, as well as our sister foundations from Northern Ireland, Scotland, and the Channel Islands as well. And the room of changemakers extends beyond the boundaries of the charity sector. And this is a really important point, because indeed it's our belief that we will only build strong communities if we work across sectors and across systems. And that's why I'm delighted today to welcome people from across all sectors of the economy. Colleagues, yes, from civil society in all its forms. Charities, small charities, medium-sized charities, social enterprises, KICs, CIOs, funders, and membership bodies. But critically, we're also joined by our colleagues from Lloyds Banking Group, which we're really, really excited about, and AI experts, business infrastructure organisations like Business in the Community as well. We've got brilliant academics and thinkers here, people who've inspired me and some of us as a team over the years. People like David Robinson, I see over there, from the Relationships Project. People like Mark Steers from UCL Policy Lab, and Polly Curtis from Demos, and Social Udo, the project from the University of Stirling, who will be hosting one of the breakout rooms later on. And the movement of changemakers extends from people beyond this room, as there are hundreds of friends joining us online today as well. Now, Lloyds Bank Foundation is about three things, and this is the first: connecting people. And you could just feel the energy, couldn't you, as you came in upstairs? Because whatever you've got written on your name badge today, wherever you've come from, whatever sector, whatever hometown, everyone here cares about communities. And the position that the foundation has, sitting across this amazingly diverse group of passionate people, is a huge privilege. And we're going to go even further in the future to connect more and bring people together, because we're at our best as a foundation when we play that connecting role. The second thing we care about, and our focus of today, is catalysing, because it's great to come together, but isn't it even more meaningful when you bring resources in to do that, and you back new ideas, and you help good ones scale up, and you'll hear some of that later on. And we've been doing that since our inception. If you go back just 2 years after we were founded, in 1987, we were convinced by the urgent need for a service like Childline. We set them up with a grant of £65,000, and they've gone on to become a household name. And over the years, we've learned how to do this well since Whitney Houston was topping the charts, would you believe, 40 years ago. Saving All My Love for You, in case you were wondering. That's aged some of us. So what have we learned over those 40 years? Well, we'll soon be releasing research that shows how our investment in an organization's capacity and capability, which I know so many of you have benefited from, the Enhanced program, the capability, the capacity building support that we've given over the years. If you do that, it supports charities to more than double their long-term growth rate. And so it has an impact long after our relationship with the charity ends. So we've got a real record to be proud of, and we have to confront, however, the reality of the world as it is today and where it's moving to, as a foundation and as a sector. And we'll always get the right partners to get the help they need, help our partners, get the help they need to get the fundamentals right, the right governance, the right CRM system, the right business planning support. But the reality is that the likes of AI, digital, and data represent both opportunities, but threats as well. And we have to be match fit to be able to engage with those technological changes. Similarly, and this won't come as a surprise to many people in the room, the financial goalposts keep moving. And we absolutely must work differently to challenge systemic issues facing our society. Because if we don't meet this moment with confidence and resilience, the forces of division will win and civil society will be diminished. However, if we get this right and we act boldly, civil society can become the engine room for a stronger and more connected communities and a more prosperous nation. But to embrace that opportunity, we collectively need to think differently, and we need to embrace innovation. And I get it. I know this is really tough from all my travels and the conversations I have with you. If you're a small charity, that's really hard because you just don't have the headspace. But you've already made an important step just by being here today, by being in the room or joining us virtually. So to build that resilience, you're going to hear of a few things today, quite a lot. You're going to hear about data and digital, you're going to hear about money, you're going to hear about systems change as well. So we've brought external experts in, but critically, and I've always believed this in leadership, you need to keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground. What we've also done is brought in community organisations who've got an incredible track record and are leading in these areas as well to share that learning and knowledge as well. And at the end of the day, we're hoping you'll emerge back into the world, excited, inspired, having made lots of connections and saying that you are fortified. Because, as I said, it's our 40th year. And that's an incredible track record. You know, you'll see the timeline upstairs, 630-odd million pounds, that's about £1 billion in real terms, has been given out over those 40 years, 45,000 grants. And in addition to everything we know about the support I talked about earlier in terms of capacity building. And we've also brought together thousands of Lloyds Banking Group colleagues with hundreds of charities and supported them to give greater sums of money and hours of time, whether that's helping to fundraise for major players in the campaign to end homelessness, like Crisis, who I think are here today, or to volunteer with local food banks. And that takes me to the final point, which is throughout all of those years, there's been one common thread, which are communities themselves. Because not only is this our 40th year, it's a major strategy year also. And we are putting communities and community-led change at the absolute heart of our mission as a foundation. And even as we come here together today, we know that across England and Wales, and indeed across the whole of the UK, there is an urgent call for change. Communities are divided, poverty is deepening, homelessness is rising, and fewer people are giving time and money to change that. And yet, I am optimistic. I love that phrase, leaders are dealers in hope. That's what we need to do today, be dealers in hope. Because our communities hold the answers. They are filled with hopeful, determined people who make the lives of their neighbours better. And day after day, they are bringing communities together, lifting people up, creating homes. And that's what you are doing. That's what countless others are doing. Everyone who works here at the Foundation has the immense honour of witnessing and investing in that work. And we're going to back you to do so much more in our new strategy, which will be out in April. And so today is the chance to start to get a feel of that new major ambitious strategy. All about connecting and catalysing community-led change so that everyone in England and Wales is in a good place, that they are personally in a good place, that they live in a home that's a good place to live in, and that they're in a community that's a good place to belong to as well. And I can think of no better way to start the day and to bring that mission to life than to introduce two dynamos of social change, and in my view, two of our greatest public servants. Dame Anne Lim is an educationalist, business leader, and philanthropist. She generally gives her time to various charities as an experienced charity chair, and we are very lucky to have her as the chair of Lloyds Bank Foundation. And with her, Baroness Louise Casey of Blackstock is an independent advisor on social welfare and a crossbench peer in the House of Lords. You'll all know her. She's worked for 6 prime ministers, and she's still smiling, on issues around social welfare, including homelessness, antisocial behaviour, troubled families, child sexual exploitation, and social integration. Please welcome them to the stage.